What's up, ladies, gents, and everyone in between? The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast coming at you like a whole month since our last episode or something like that. The lighting isn't great, but it'd be really bright if I turned that light on and the hallway light too. And anyway, this is my lovely home here. Emphasis on the word lovely. It's all right. It's clean. It works for me. Anyway, enough about that. I'm Grandpa on this screen. That's Michelle's and Goulis right there. Say what's popping, Michelle.
What's happened, Michelle?
So, how have y'all been? It's been a minute. And by a minute, it's been at least a month, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time we talked was right after the ugly sweater race.
No. Really?
I think so.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't even listened to our last episode, so I don't even know what we've covered. So, we're really prepared coming into this one. But how about we just talk to you about what we've been up to lately? Um, There was the Run the Line half marathon race this past weekend, the past Sunday, 2 days ago in lovely Texarkana, Texas and Arkansas. It's one of those border races where you start, I believe, on the Texas side and you run through the Arkansas side and then you finish on the Texas side. So you get to cover two states there.
Is that why they call it run the line?
Probably. I'm no
They're,
expert,
they're smart if that's why.
but I think that's why they do it.
Yeah,
It's pretty creative on there. And
it really
great,
is.
great race. I've done it like 5 times, five, something like that. We talked about it before, 5 or 6 times. I think I've done it 5 times. But I did not do this one this past Sunday. I had originally planned to. And by the time I got around to signing up, it was already at the price hike. Around, I think it was like $85 or something at the time. And between that and like a hotel, and I was getting ready to start school again, and I was like, I don't know that I want to do this. Figured I'd probably need that weekend to stay at home and catch up on schoolwork, which was a good idea. And so that is what I did. And so I missed the race, but it seemed like it was really good weather. Um, it's all every year I've done this race. It's the same time of year, and it had always just rained. So the ground is always wet. And that was the case this year as well. The ground just always stays wet. It's what it is. But it's an awesome race. It's well done. They have really good food after. Uh, there's some kind of beer available there. The Hooters girls were there last year serving beer. I think it was Flyway, maybe local. Some type of state owned beer, as in someone within the state of Arkansas, not Texas. But good race, but I wasn't there. Um, my run club was there. They had a pretty good showing, looked like. Certainly didn't need me for it. Um, what's going on with you lately, Michelle, as far as running and all that? You took a significant break, but it's my understanding you might be getting back into the swing of things. Am I right or wrong?
I mean, back in the swing of things is putting things, making it bigger than it is. I did rejoin the Fun Arkansas running team and the Arkansas Grand Prix, and I have registered for 3 races so far, but I have not run at all. I have gone on a daily walk since Sunday.
so for so for 3 days now, Michelle has done 3 walks, one daily walk each day.
Yes.
Would you like to explain why? It's not because of your training for a race, is it?
No, I'm not training for a race, but a lot has happened. So some of you maybe watching on YouTube saw Midnight in the background sometimes. He was my Great Dane. But I had to say goodbye to Midnight. He got sick and we had to put him down. And so I realized I was lonely and quiet without a dog, so I adopted a puppy this weekend. I have a Great Pyrenees puppy lab mix named Bumble. He's a little bumblebee.
He's a dog, but
He's a
Um,
dog, but he's all white. He's fluffy and soft and the cutest thing ever.
he is all of those things. He's an awesome dog, a very good boy,
Mhm.
and one I look forward to spending lots of time with throughout his years. Um, yeah, awesome dog. All those things true, but he's not a bumblebee. He is a dog, but his name is Bumble, so there's that. That is exciting. And what races have you signed up for? You said three, right?
Yes. Spring Fling,
Just Cabot. Cabot's 5K.
the Mile Soma.
Soma Soma Main Street Mile. Yeah, and that's in June.
Hmm.
June, yeah. Self-explanatory what that is.
Something else, but I don't remember what it is now.
Chase race?
No,
Really?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Well,
Capital City.
no, that's a 10K.
Okay. Are you going to do that one?
No,
You should. It's a good one. I'm doing that one.
no.
Anyway, so Michelle signed up for three, we think,
Yeah.
although it just sounds like two. Um, Me, on the other hand, I had even though I've started school again and didn't do run the line. I have been pretty busy with my run schedule. I did my very last race in 2025. Well, it was technically the Ugly Sweater 5K, but it really wasn't, a race. It just was for me, I was just going out there for fun. It was kind of a walk with some very slow jogging. um, for that, it was the Three Bridges Marathon. That was my sub 4 attempt. That did not happen. My legs weren't there. I was cold, and it just wasn't a recipe for me. Too much of an incline on the bridges for me to be able to sub 4 at my skill level. I did have I signed up for the Grand Prix again. We already covered that about me saying I wasn't going to, and then I did, and I plan to do it for years to come. Now, so there's that thing. But anyway, the first the first race of the year is always the 1 hour track run in Russellville, and it's the first. It's been the first race of the season, at least the last 3 years I've been a part of it. I'm going on year three now, but that was not the case. Excuse me, this year we had a nice little snow storm mixed with some ice that really kind of put things. We had that with a significant cold front that came too. I'm talking like 0 degrees, 0 degrees, 2 degrees, wind chill less than or -12, and the snowstorm. Like they were real good about it. They just went ahead and said, "Okay, we see the forecast. We're going to cancel and reschedule." So that's what they did. It is now. It went from January 24th. It was supposed to be late January, and now it is this coming Sunday, February 22nd. So that will be my next race, but that was supposed to be the first one of the season. Got postponed to this Sunday, which I'm fine with. Going to be much better weather, especially on a track. We can talk about that for a minute. How do you think you would do in a 1 hour track run?
Um, I can go whatever pace I want, and my guess is I would get 3.5 miles in.
In 1 hour?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, that's true. So meaning what? You would walk the whole time or what?
No, but I mean, I'm typically 40 minutes for 3 miles. So, but the faster or the further I go, the slower I get. So I don't think I would make it a full 4 miles.
Yeah. And you would stay on the outside, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, I'm slow.
Now they have two different waves. So it's typically I think how they did it, if you're 8:20, if you're an 8 minute 20 second mile, like for an hour. That's your pace. If you're above that, they want you to do the what's now the second group, which is the slower group. And if you can run that fast or faster than that, they want you in the first group. It used to be reversed. The first 2 years I've done it, my first year doing the Grand Prix, I ran with the slower group because I wasn't in as good a shape, and I didn't know. I didn't know if I could keep that pace for an hour, and I didn't want to go out there with the leads and then hold people up, be that guy. So I signed up for the slower group, and I had the goal in mind. I was going to have an iron season, which is do every Grand Prix race in the season uh, that year. So I was like, I'm doing it. So I'm doing the thing I said I would do, or starting it anyway. And I went out there and I was basically bobbing and weaving for an hour. It got to be kind of annoying. And by kind of, I mean, it got to be annoying. And that's not a knock on the people that were doing it. It was my fault for signing up for essentially the wrong group. I was told that later. They said you were too fast for that group. Well, I know that now. Um, so I signed up for the faster group last year, and that went a lot better. But one, I didn't have to bob and weave really at all. If anything, I was just having to get out of the way of faster people. But that was much more enjoyable, and I was able to go a little bit. I got a little more distance just because I was able to run faster and I didn't have to bob and weave from lane to lane. So naturally, and I was in better shape, so I was going to have a better distance anyway. But that is not my favorite kind of race. I don't hate it. Some people like really don't like it. I don't dislike it. The only thing is it's like and I talked about this before. When do you got to find that fine line of being respectful to the faster runners going by you and not cutting yourself short or shaving time off of time or distance, the big distance, off of what you could be doing out of, maybe too much respect for the people that you're running with and not enough respect to yourself. Uh, Last year, there was one time on a curve where I let someone in my running club pass me who is faster. And I was doing it on a turn though. And then when I let them pass, some people that were kind of on her just kind of took advantage of that gap and just snuck in. And so I got in that outside lane way longer than I wanted to be. And I said, I'm not going to do that again, at least on a turn. And you just got to find that fine line of doing that. It's not my favorite race out of the Grand Prix. Um, I won't say if there's a least favorite, but it's not my favorite. But having said that, I think it's unique and I kind of like it for the most part, and I like the food after. So I look forward to going Sunday for my second Grand Prix race of the season. But that's what's next. And going back to what was supposed to be the second race of the season, the River Trail 15K. Yeah, we had been the snowstorm had passed at this point. This was January 31st was when this race was supposed to take place. But the cold didn't go anywhere, and that's why the snow and ice stuck around for a lot longer than it normally would have. There's still some piles of snow and ice in certain portions of the area, by the way, in the shadier parts. There's still piles in certain areas, shaded areas, etc. But the River Trail 15K was going to be minus 12 degrees wind chill. I think it was going to be 8 degrees, which it's not fun for me to run in. I hate running. I strongly dislike, I don't want to say hate, I strongly dislike running in the cold. I would much rather run in heat than cold. I know I'm in the minority for that. Although I did meet somebody at the last race I did that said they were just like me. They much rather prefer running in the warmer weather. I'll talk about that in a bit.
Weirdo.
Right? I mean, but I thought it was great. I was like, yeah, I totally agree. Anyway, that got pushed back. And instead of January 31st, that's now Memorial Day weekend on May 23rd. So very different conditions. I'm excited about it though. I would much rather run in warmer temps. I'm going to be that'll be a week removed from school for me. So I mean, I'm going to have more free time at that point. So I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be a good time. But we got a little ways away till we get there. But the first actual Grand Prix race of the season that I did run was the Valentine's Day 5K in Russellville. Not this past weekend, the weekend before last. It was Saturday morning, and they switched the course. It's put on by the River Valley Runners, and they went from whatever course it was. It was over by like an elementary school previously, I believe it was, and you got to run through the Arkansas Tech campus, which I thought was pretty neat. I really liked the course change. Big fan of that. They did have a timing snafu, so they you didn't get your act, and even then, I think my time was still wasn't accurate entirely, but they got me as a finisher, and they got me in the right placement from everything I saw, and also I don't really care that much. Just show that I officially finished, and we're good. Um, which did I tell you how they had to go figure out the placement and times for people?
No.
So I don't know if this is true. This is just a word of mouth thing. So don't take what I'm saying as just as word or as for sure this is what happened. But from what I had gathered, their timing equipment for their turkey trot got damaged during uh, the rain that they got that day. I don't know if that's true or not, but it had gotten damaged then. They dried everything out before this race and tested it, and things were working fine according to them. And then the race happened, and then all hell broke loose, and nothing was working uh, during the race that they realized this was happening. So they did have a GoPro set up. So they had to go through their GoPro and just look at the time and person crossing for every single one of them, which that's terrible. That would
Yeah.
be terrible to do. But they did get like the overall winners. They got them their awards and all that day of, and everybody else they just said we'll send the results later. And I think I won an award. I think I got top, or I think I got second in my age group. Maybe I'd have to go back and look, but I think they said they'll have the awards. I got third.
I thought you got third.
Could be. I don't remember. I think I got a placement award. But apparently, they'll have those at the 1 hour track run this weekend. Um, that's another thing. I do. You do enough of these, you tend to stop caring about those things. The age group awards, especially. So if I remember to pick it up, I'll say something. But if I don't, I'll just be like, I'll get you at the next one, or I just won't. It's one of those things. But that would be awful, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Having to go look at the GoPro and go through each one and okay, that's them. Okay, what's their bib? Okay, that's this person. What's their time? That just sounds terrible.
I would, would be so mad. Like if that's what I ended up having to do. I understand that like technology things happen and things like that, but I would be like, no, not doing it. Not doing it. Somebody else can do it, not me.
You have to do it though. Somebody's got to do it.
I'm not doing it.
You can't just say we're not going to have official times.
I mean, I'm sure you could. People would be very mad,
Yeah, it would not go
but
well.
you could just say that. Sorry, technology. What are you gonna do? What if they didn't have the GoPro? What would they have done if they didn't have a GoPro set up?
I don't know.
Because not every race has that. So what would they have done? They wouldn't have had official times.
They wouldn't have, but you have to make every effort you can to get it right when you've messed up. And they did that. They did everything they could to get it right. And they did, from what I gathered. Like I said, my time wasn't exact, but I don't care. I mean, the placement was right
Mhm.
as far as what I've gathered. So they did everything they could, and the RD was real apologetic about it. And, but it just wasn't that big of a deal to me. Now I had homework and I had to study for an exam, and I had to prep for a marathon I was pacing the next day. And by prep, I mean just make sure I got home because Russellville's an hour and a half away from me. So like I do want to get home and get resettled and do a little studying before I have to carb load and go to bed. But once I realized that, and the RD even said we'll get the overall awards, but the age group awards are going to have to wait, and we'll get those to you that we can mail them, or we'll be at the next. It'll be at the next event around here, etc. So when I got that info, I was like, okay, see you later. I'm out. And had I not placed, I wouldn't have stuck around that long. But I thought about leaving anyway, even if they weren't going to do that. I thought about just I'm going to head home. It's not that, see me. But I had that race. I came home. Oh, sorry. I, were you pointing?
Yeah,
I didn't know what you were
I want
pointing
us to show the medal.
but you were all over the place. Your eyes were over here. You were like my cat who will just look around at random things. I just thought you were
It's
doing
called
something like that.
ADHD.
Anyway, um, really nice medal for this one. This was the Valentine's Day 5K
I
medal.
want you to show it off.
This is it here for those of you watching on Spotify and YouTube.
For those of you listening, it is like an envelope with a Valentine in it that says "Run your heart out." And it's cute. Envelope is like silver, and then the Valentine is colored pink.
It's got a nice little weight to it. It doesn't look very heavy, but it's got a nice little weight to it. I like it. It is a good medal.
Yeah, it's a good medal. That's why I wanted to show it off. It's pretty.
I completely forgot about it too, so I'm glad you said something. I got them and I put them right here just for this, and I was going to completely overlook it. So next time, just say something. Don't just look around the room because I just thought you were pulling an Ichabod. And I'm just going to look around the room because I'm chill and I'm kind of weird too. So
This is what I deal with, for those of you wondering.
it's not that bad. Sip of coffee. Give us another because I rambled for a while as I tend to do.
You do ramble. You do ramble.
If you would do more races, you would have more to talk about too, though. It is a running podcast. So
It is a running podcast, but I feel like we need to have both sides, right? We have the person who really enjoys running and you run 3, 4 times a week. And then there's the person who shows up,
three right now.
but then sometimes you have a race and it's 4.
No, it just becomes three. It's just now it was like that last year, but this year with school and everything, and just wanting to take a step back. Yeah, train if it's race week, training runs are it's 2. This week it was yesterday, Monday. Tomorrow I'll run tomorrow, and then on Sunday. That'll be it for the week.
So you have that. And then you have the person who shows up for races because they want the medal, the shirt, or the food.
And that's fine. I like those things too. But the point is, if you just do more, and then you'll have more to talk about.
So I'm excited about the spring fling because this year they're doing a colored medal, which last year they just did like the wooden cutout, which was great. Everyone still got a medal. And then this year it's a colored cutout, which is cool, and a sweatshirt. And the sweatshirt deadline is coming up. So
sign up.
Yeah. And there's always good food after.
There is.
Lots of food.
It's very well done. It's my run club's 5K. It's a state championship event. And the Grand Prix award ceremony is taking place afterward there in the Cabot Auditorium too, there at the high school. Good spot to have it. Big auditorium where they do their school plays and stuff. So it's a nice venue for that too. Plenty of spacing and everything for everyone. So good spot to have that. I'm looking forward to it. But we got a little less than a month before that happens. Now I did a race the following, as I said, I had to pace a marathon that Sunday after the Valentine's Day 5K. And excuse me, that was the Papa Loco marathon and half marathon. It's in Conway. It's a race I've done 3 or 4 times, and this year was did I say the final one?
You didn't yet.
Okay. Well, it's the last one ever. This was it. I got asked to be a pacer for it. So I did. And I paced the 5 hour group. This is the medal for it as I'm trying to catch my. I have a sports podcast that I do as well. And I decided to, full transparency, do it right before this one. So I'm starting to get a little winded as far as my throat goes.
So for those of you who are not watching on Spotify and YouTube, this one has like the science atom thing where all the lines, I don't know what it's called. And it says Papa Loco, like, and it has them like chemical symbols, and it
Hang on.
says the final experiment.
This is an atom.
See, I'm smart.
Okay, this thing in the center is a nucleus, and these things going around it are the electrons.
So it is an atom, and then they have like the chemistry symbols for the Papa Loco, and it's the final experiment because it's the last one.
And it was very well done, as it always is. And it was a race that was supposed to be the weekend of when all this snow was going to hit. In fact, my plan was to pace this marathon, half marathon, and it was supposed to be on a Saturday. And then the 1 hour track run was the next day on a Sunday. So I was going to do all that in one weekend. And it got postponed, fortunately. That it would have been miserable to run a marathon with as much snow and ice as we had. One. Two, the whole thing takes place on the walking and on the bike and walk trail in Conway, in the middle of Conway. So you can imagine ice and snow on that and 0 degree temps or whatever it was. And being out there for 5 hours. And like, that's the thing. It would have been terrible to do a half, but to do a marathon in that just sounded awful. And yeah, it would have been bad. But fortunately, the 1 hour track run, it canceled early during the week of the event when they saw the forecast. And Loco followed shortly thereafter. And it wasn't the first time that they've had to postpone to a February date. In fact, a friend of mine commented when the postponement was announced, it wouldn't be Papa Loco without a rescheduling because of weather. And I was like, that's actually really very true. And only fitting with it being the last one. But it was great. We had great weather. We went from 0 degrees to it got almost up to 60 by the end of it. It was like 57. This was Super Bowl Sunday, by the way. Mm-hmm. The race started at 8. I got there and I kind of got there right on time and it wasn't real cold, so I didn't have to just sit in my car. Now it was in the 30s at the start, like but high 30s. I think it was like 37, 38 at the start. But that's not real cold. And it wasn't really windy or anything. And it was only going to get warmer. It was going to get to, I think it got to 57 by the time we finished. I finished. So I got there, got it, went up and got my sign, my register, my bib and all that, timing chip. Went back to the car, did everything else I needed to do, snapped a selfie with the stick, my pacing stick, and yeah, went out and ran a race and had a fun time. It was a typical loco marathon race, and how this race is set up is it was a 2.4. I have to say was now, because it's done.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 2.4 mile out and back on the trail on this bike slash walking trail in the middle of Conway. 2.4 miles down and back one time. If you did the half marathon, you would do that 5 times. If you did the marathon, you would have to do that, guess what, 10 times. So if you do the math, that's a little long. So it's actually closer to 26 and a half miles. And my Strava, when I was done, it was 26.72 or something like that. So, but I expected that. I expected it to be a half a mile long. And so I I adjusted accordingly. I was a little fast than my pace chart would suggest because I wanted to bank enough time for that because I knew it was going to be long. And I even looked at some of the other Pacers times. There were some like me, and I was right on the money. My chip time was 4:59:41, and it was a good turnout, by the way. A couple hundred people or so, give or take. I don't remember the exact numbers, but the another pacer behind me was right on the money. She was 5:30. It was 5:29 and change. But there were some that came in over, and that's just and I would say it's because the course was long, and that's true. But I also know some of those people that had paced that same race before. And it's like, well, you should have remembered that. But I mean, it's okay. Um, things happen, and it's what it is there. But I take a lot of pride in being a pacer and knowing that I've never come in over when I was supposed to. And I'm going to keep that streak alive for as long as I can. Forever is the plan. But anyway, it was a fun race, and well, one. Do you have any questions about it?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, good job, Michelle. Anything to add?
I would hate having to do that 10 times, like going back and forth. That's my issue with like the 1 hour track run too,
Hmm.
is I would get bored. I would get so bored that I would just not want to do it anymore. Because it's the same thing over and over and over again. That was how I felt in high school just about the 2 mile. Like I
8 laps.
yes,
Okay,
want
you're being
just
ridiculous. I
just
know.
running in circles. I'm good. I'm good.
No, I don't. Not for 2 miles. Now I can relate on everything else. Um, I'll say this early because I've only done the half marathon when I've done loco. I've only done the half. So once you get to like lap 3, you're like, okay, just 2 more laps. When you get to lap 3 on this one, you're like, I still got 7 more to go. Uh, I felt the most down when I completed my second lap. I was like, gosh, like there was so much further to go. But once I got to like lap 7, I was like, oh, just 3 more times, piece of cake. I've already done it 7. What's 3 more going to do? Like you start to get optimistic, your attitude changes. Now I wasn't like dreading it the whole time or anything like that, even when it was early on. But I was my least enthused in the beginning, just because I was like, well, I've got a long. I mean, it's a marathon. It's like God, there's a long way to go. Um, but it was a good race. I was alone early, but then I came across a guy named Jim who I had seen him before. I saw him at the Three Bridges Marathon. He runs with a white T-shirt and he has marker like all over the T-shirt, like front and back of the marathons he's run, how many he's done. I think that was his 273rd
How many?
marathon. And Jim is in his 70s, in great shape for a guy in his 70s. He came in over 5 hours. But if I'm still running or alive at 70, I'll be happy. So there's that. But I think that was his 273rd marathon. I ran with him for a while, and Jim was killing it early, so much so I had to pull back a little bit. I had to tell him, I was like, hey, I got to pull back. I'm getting well ahead of pace here. Um, but yeah, he was fun to run with for a while. My buddy James, who was killing it early, he got a full lap ahead of me. In fact, it was early in the morning. I had forgotten he was going to be there, and until I saw him on the comeback on the first out and back, I was like, oh yeah, James is here. And over the halfway point of the race, he ran with me for a while. So that was nice to have somebody to keep you company. We could shoot the shit about how the race went the day prior because it's our show. Shoot the breeze, excuse me. But yeah, I cursed a little bit. My bad. But we could shoot the breeze a little bit about the 5K we did the day before, because he's also in the Grand Prix. Shout out James, by the way. Um, so he ran. Michelle did a peace sign for those of you.
You did too.
Shout out type thing. But anyway, we hung out for a little bit. What was
That was a
that?
cough.
I don't think that was a cough.
Keep
But
going.
okay. Anyway, well, you threw me off. But anyway, hung out with him for a while, ran with him, and that full lap that he ran ahead of me, and with the race we did the day prior, I think took its toll a little bit. He was like, "I'm gonna scale back a little bit." Totally understandable. I saw a couple other people in my run club I got to talk to for a little bit. It was a good time. It was a good experience. And got out of, like I said, came in on time, got my breakfast burrito to go, and then came back here to get ready for the Super Bowl. I basically came back, got in the shower, and then just got ready for the Super Bowl. And then you came over. It's supposed to be you, and my dad watching the game. And my dad called and was like, "Hey, I'm sick. I'm not coming." And which was legitimate. He sounded terrible. And so you came over, and then we ate sliders and spinach dip and some other pasta thing that you made, and watched a not exciting Super Bowl.
It was not an exciting game.
It wasn't. Go ahead and talk.
Yeah, the food was the best part, and the commercials weren't even all that great. So there were some funny ones, but the game was boring. The the commercials were boring. The food was delicious.
Yeah, I'll say if they saw the Super Bowl, they know we're not saying anything that we haven't already told them. But I wanted to go get this. I had forgotten about it. I got to keep the pacing sign from the Papa Loco Marathon. That's my pace chart there for those of you watching on Spotify and YouTube. Not that you can see very well because not the greatest lighting in here. But I've got my pace chart here. I wore my pace band that you got me, but I mainly like to keep a pace chart on my sign just so I can just look at my sign and be like, okay, that's where I need to be for this one, this one, this one. And it's just easier than looking at my list. But anyway, I don't know that I'll hang on to this thing, but I just thought it was cool. They let me keep the pace.
It's not like he doesn't have a bunch of pace signs back there or anything that he put together for the pacing that he does for the bodies races.
No, for beast pacing.
But they're bodies races.
Well, they were, yeah. Shout out beast pacing, by the way. I mean, I'm still a beast pacer. We're not going to get into that whole thing, but it's just a transition. But yeah, I have a whole lot of beast pacing signs back there, but that's just as a pace captain. What I have here, like, there's not going to be another Loco Marathon, so I could say, hey, that's from the last one. If this podcast ever becomes something, and I get to have a room office that I can kind of decorate it, running related, that would be cool to have. I have that in the back of my brain. But I'm also not one that likes to hang on to things.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have that dream, but then in a month you're gonna get the urge to clean and you're gonna just get rid of it.
I don't think I'll do that with that though.
Okay.
Like I think I could find something because I do have that in my brain. Like I have almost all my bibs from every race I've run.
I throw those away.
See, I still have them. I've got them in a manila folder and they're in my one of that little filing thing that I have.
Most of those get trashed at the race. Take them off, throw them away. If you think that if you wanted me to keep them, I'm sorry, I don't.
No, you can do what you want. I mean, it's people don't run for the bib; they run for the medal.
I do
But
keep the medals. I have a
yeah,
medal holder.
but my thinking behind it is, I see people's like workout rooms, garages where they have the bibs on the wall,
Mhm.
and it goes back to if I ever want to turn this podcast into something that could be a cool backdrop type of thing, just a wall decorated with all that stuff. Could be. Um, but yeah, so I just wanted to show off my pacing sign. All right, how are we doing time wise? Pretty good. There
Mhm.
is one, yeah, we're going overboard a little bit. One, there was plenty to catch up on. Two, we can because we don't have a time limit for this. But there's one other thing I wanted to discuss. I have been so on social media. I've just seen every time I open up Facebook, Instagram, etc., something for the Great World Race. And for those of you wondering what that is, it is where you can sign up to run. It's 1 week, one marathon a day for a week on, and each day it's on a different continent. So you run 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 different continents.
Oh, that would be so much. So much. I would be so tired.
Yeah, but that's the point. I mean, that's the idea. I mean, that would be a really cool experience, though, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, but I can't even do one marathon. So,
Like, I don't know where they start. I didn't do all that all the research for it, but I think you finish in Miami. I know the one in North America is in Miami. Uh, yeah, I can't remember the rest. It's, but yeah, all 7 continents. You run on Antarctica, which I think would be really cool.
yeah.
But talk about the temperature changes just in that 1 week. You'll run in Miami, you'll run in Antarctica, you'll run in Australia, um, Asia, Europe, Africa. Well, all the continents. But that would be really fun to do. I even had it, I've seen it so much on my phone. I was like, man, that'd be really cool to do one day. And then I start to think logically as far as now, one, physically, could I do it? Yes, I believe I could do it. Absolutely, I could do it. I would have a goal of coming in under 5 hours every time,
Hmm.
just because I would be like, that's what I want to do. Now, could I do that? I don't know. I don't know if I could
Maybe
do
the
that.
first couple of days.
I know I could, I think, the first couple of days, but could I maintain that for a week?
Yeah.
That I don't know, especially on Antarctica.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, they do it in when it's summer there, so
whatever that means.
it's gonna be warmer.
How much warmer?
Well, it's there right now. Talking, I'll look it up.
Okay. It's summer there now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I did think, man, that would be really cool to do one day. Just another thing to check off the bucket list as far as the running bucket list. But then you look at the price. And now what's included in this price is flights, lodging, food, everything. Like the price that you pay to do this covers everything you'll need as far as travel, sleep, food, etc. All the things. And do you remember what it is?
It's over $50,000.
In US dollars?
Yeah.
It's 49,500 euros. And for those of you that don't know what that is, that's almost $58,000.
So much for 7 days.
Yeah. But if you had not the vast majority of the people don't have this much money to spend on something like that. But if you did, myself included, by the way, if you did, it would be really cool to do.
Be a fun like thing to just check off.
But like even okay, let's just theoretically like when I finish school, get a job that's paying me more money, and like I don't have kids or anything, right? You don't have kids. Theoretically, if I just really, 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 really wanted to do it, I could probably make it happen. Maybe. But how much would but how much do you want to spend, you know, on something running related like that?
Yeah, I feel like you could reach that goal in a different way of running on every continent and getting to spend more time in each place. And it would probably still be cheaper. Like, that's the thing. Is it cool to say you did it in 7 days?
That's part of the challenge. Yeah.
Sure, but also you could do that. You could run a marathon in every continent and it be much cheaper and have a better experience.
I look at it this way too. It's the same as to me as kind of the world marathon majors go. It would be really fun to do that because now they're at 7 and they're eventually going to get to 9. It would be a really cool thing to do and say that you did and wonderful experiences. I'm sure the Great World Race would be too. But at a certain point, how much money do I really want to spend on this?
Right.
And it's not that much. It's not enough to want to do every major. It's not enough to want to do the Great World Race. That's just me personally. There are there are way other goals that I could achieve closer to home that would mean just as much, if not more, to me personally. But again, it goes back to how much do I really want to spend on something like that. And when it comes to something like running, I enjoy this. I don't enjoy it that much. I'll find other ways to spend my money, but that's just me. Anyway, I wanted to touch up on that before we get out of here.
Okay.
But I don't know. Did we miss anything?
I don't think so.
We probably did, but that's okay. I I've got the 1 hour track run this Sunday, but there is a pretty big one the week after that. It's Little Rock Marathon weekend. Next weekend, not this weekend, but the next. I'll be running the 10K there, and I'll be pacing the 5 hour group for the marathon next Sunday. So Little Rock Marathon is probably my favorite race. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. It's a good weekend. It's a good time.
Yeah, so come say hello to me at the pacing booth on Saturday morning after the 10K and Friday afternoon. I think at 3 o'clock is when I'll be there. So come say what's up if you're nearby or at the expo. Come say hey to me. I'll be in the pacing booth there. But we're I guess technically not out of time, but it is a school night for us. So we're gonna get off of here, but it's good to be back. It's good to I'd say see everyone, but can't see us and you're just listening anyway. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'm gonna say it anyway. It's good to see and hear from everyone. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, running year. And but we'll be back sooner than a month and we'll try to keep a better schedule, but or more consistent schedule. But life happens. Anything to add before we get out of here, Michelle?
Not for me.
Okay, well then we're gonna go then and watch Night of the Seven Kingdoms at some point. Hopefully, we're still awake by then.
We'll see.
Yeah, awesome show though. So looking forward to it. Anyway, I'm Graham. That's Michelle. We'll see y'all next time.
See ya.